Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StrangeCast, Player One Visual's Life is Strange fan podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Judge Riaz, and my co-host here, the Shadow, the Eagle. He appears in Lost Records as Shadows, but the Eagle. Game ranks, Falcons person himself, Adam Evalt. Here you are.
How many nicknames do I have? Can I just be called the Shadow Seagull?
Maybe.
The Shadow Eagle. Shadow Eagle. Yeah.
I also have a 4-letter word nickname for you, but I'll leave that to myself.
Yeah, like if you say that word in Australia, it's nice and endearing, but here in America, it's not so endearing.
Yeah, it actually is really that is actually genuinely true as well. I remember meeting someone who lived in Australia for a long time, and that was actually an endearing word for them. I was like,
Yeah.
well, another it's frowned upon in different places.
Oh no, here in the States, my cousin got called that word, and she asked me what does that word mean? I'm like, it means you got to punch him in the back of the head. That's what that means.
Yes, I think that's an appropriate response most of the time. But yes, you do have many nicknames. I'm sure you'll have more as well. The listeners can give you more as well in the comments.
I'm sure they will.
But you're back, and we're back. We're on episode 98, so we are literally going to be at 100 very, very soon, which is crazy. We have done more than 100 episodes because side A, side B in certain episodes, but we are almost there, which is crazy. And it's obviously been 4 years since we've been doing this podcast. I 100% urge you to go and watch some of the old episodes, Adam. You'll see your age and your innocence and everything else die slowly before your eyes.
Trust me, when I was a youth pastor, my age and my innocence left me a long time ago.
That's also fair. Anyway, on that really macabre note, we'll start as well. So if you are new here, as always, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your friends, like this video. Otherwise, no more StrangeCast for you. End of. Finito. Done.
Thank
So
God, I can go back to sleep.
Not you, the people. You're like, but do you remember that scene when Homer leaves the power plant and comes back, and then Mr. Burns has the sign there, and it says, "You're here forever." That's you. You signed up to this. That one innocent message you once responded to me 4 years ago saying, "Oh, I'd love to have you on Games and Groceries." That was your signed and sealed fate. Not even Liz could see that either. She was like, "Oh no!"
There's just stroking your chin like, I could mess up his mornings for the rest of his life.
But yes, let's continue anyway. Yeah, please like the video. We're at 1,700 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. We're trying to climb to 1,800. So if you can subscribe, it does help with the channel. Just voice almost went. StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. So please go and follow us over there. You can get your videos instantly as soon as they become available. We have over 300 followers on Spotify, which is amazing. We have 303 actually. We have 47 ratings at 4.8. So thank you so much for that. Please do rate us. It helps boost our visibility, helps other people find us. And as I said, if you're on those podcast services, you get instant access to the episodes as soon as they become available. So it's to your own benefit. So Adam, we're back. I don't know how the schedule is going to go here for FY for people because we're hoping to do another episode in the week that's coming because we're recording the 19th of April and we're actually going to be recording a Lost Records journal after this. So bear with us. I'm not going to say that this is coming first or the other one's coming first, just to give you a bit of FY context of how we're doing things. So we're hopefully doing 2 podcasts today and another podcast next week. But that is time permitting and depending on certain factors, but we're hoping that gets happen because I think you'll all be very excited for it. So leave that as a tease. So we're back here, and I think this is going to be a bit of a shorter StrangeCast, famous last words. And I think we've got a couple of topics. Adam, I think we should start with the big one that we've got for this video, if you agree with that.
I agree with everything you say. I'm just trying to fix my Nintendo calendar right here.
Yes, you're fixing the Nintendo calendar, and one thing that does need to be fixed is this as well. And it is, Don't Nod has now reported its earnings for 2024 full year results. This was on the 16th of April 2025. And as you can see there, we'll go through some of the details of this. It's a big press release, so bear with us as well. I'm going to zoom in as well for that because it might actually help me. So it says here, Don't Nod, an independent French studio that creates, develops, and publishes video games, today presents its 2024 full year consolidated results as approved by the board of directors at its meeting today. The statutory auditors have completed their audit assignment and are in process of issuing their reports. The 2024 report will be published in the coming days and no later than April 30, 2025. Don't Nod's chairman and CEO, Oscar Gilbert, the final boss himself, says, and I quote, "Our 2024 results reflect performances that fell short of our expectations for recent productions, despite a very positive Critical reception. They also include a non-cash accounting adjustment to the value of our portfolio. As part of our transformation and refocusing, we also had to implement a structural cost-saving plan aimed at focusing our efforts on free production lines. The approach is in line with our commitment to secure the group's resources and strengthen its ability to operate in an increasingly competitive and selective environment. We are actively pursuing efforts to secure funding for our upcoming productions, whilst also exploring related to high-profile licenses owned by major entertainment industry players. We remain firmly focused on our future and fully committed to executing our strategy to strengthen our competitiveness and improve profitability and create sustainability value for all our stakeholders. And again, that's just to highlight that from Oscar, but they're reinforcing the external message of like looking for those licenses. So a lot of stuff here. We'll try and go through this whilst we're going through that. So don't want to report that. I'm going to point this out, Adam, because you probably wouldn't be surprised with this as well in certain respects. So in 2024, Don't operating revenues decreased by 25%. To 23.9 million euros compared to 32.1 million in 2023. The changes reflect a 14% increase in sales to 3.2 million euros, mainly driven by the backlog Vampire and Life is Strange license, and the contribution of Juson, released at the end of October 2023, and Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, released by mid-February 2024. No development revenues due to completion of Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, and no new co-production projects initiated during this period. A 6.2 million decrease in capitalized production to 20.6 million euros, driven by a complete asset review. This includes the temporary suspension of two projects, P12 and P13, which we talked about. This was during the reorganization project, and the full withdrawal of the project P10 and 14 design phase, which no longer meet capitalization fixed assets. So that's an interesting one with P10 and P14. Results. So I'm going to quickly go through this results. So let's ignore that for the moment. Obviously, as you can see it if you're watching the video version, they're talking about the fact that they've partially written down Banishers, which was written down with Juson as well. A full write down of 7.6 million euros in respect of the temporary suspensions of Paris-based projects P12 and P13 to prioritize maximum chances of success for the most promising titles at present. There was another press release, Adam, actually, before this. I think it was a week before, because they confirmed that there's going to be layoffs when they did the stuff with the STGV, and they've restructured that. They did confirm that there's layoffs, and they're going to save some money via that as well. I think it might be in the press release, but I'll come on to it. So scrolling down as well, and we'll get in conversation in a moment, Adam, because otherwise I'll be here for ages explaining it. This was interesting. It's these last 2 points. So continuation and transformation strategy. 2025 is off to a strong start with several high-quality releases with long-term sales potential. Lost Records Buma Rage, available on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5, have received critical acclaim. The game has a Metacritic score of 90% and a Steam user score of 92%, further confirming Don't expertise in narrative adventure genre. Backed by a strategic partnership with Sony, the game's sales are in line with forecast in an increasingly selective market. Obviously, again, Koira has been mentioned there as well, confirmed that. And I think this is also Lonesome Gill, which is from Tiny Bull, which will be planned for late 2025. Don't is also continuing its development of two intellectual properties, P10 and P14, in line with its roadmap. And then this is a big one as well. In accordance with its transformation strategy, Don't is confirmed to securing its operational flows and consolidating its models around 6 key pillars, focusing efforts on studios' free core genres of excellence, action RPG, narrative adventure, action adventure to maximize the chances of success of high potential titles, strengthen the role of the editorial committee to better meet market expectations, restoring more organization agility, aligning technologies to improve efficiency, securing financing for productions, seizing opportunities for partnerships on successful IPs not owned by the group to diversify source of revenue while limiting risks. So there's a lot of stuff there as well that was mentioned. And there was another piece as well, just to kind of give perspective as well. And I might actually, we'll pull up later as well. I think it's just to kind of show you maybe in terms of Don't Know the way it's looking at stock. A lot to be said there. I'll let you start. Just an FYI, and I've said this before, I do have a very, very small stake in Don't Nod for different reasons. Do not invest in Don't Nod on my premise of what I'm doing. I'm taking a bigger risk, and I've taken a lot down on certain things. I have a very small position, but I have to make that very transparent with that. I've always said that as well. And the day that I get out of that position as well, you'll know about it. But it's just because we are talking about the earnings and stuff, making that very clear for transparency. But Adam, there was a lot of stuff there. I know you are the numbers person, so I'm not going to dabble with the numbers, but what did you make of certain parts of that?
Well, there were words and there were numbers.
Yes.
I have no steaks because I am a pescatarian. So you can make sure that there are no steaks on me on anything except for a portobello mushroom steak. Be good. Um, yeah, no, it is to put it into layman's terms. It's kind of expected we would see this. That's not in a
Yeah.
way of just like that's not in a way of just like, wow, I was expecting them to lose money. Yummy. Um, we all knew this in a way of just where the games industry is going. You
Yeah.
know, we're facing a different kind of crash from 1983. 1983 was a severe, like, over the plains kind of crash, right? Like you couldn't
Yeah.
deny it, and there weren't a lot of stakeholders in the world of video games as it is today. We're facing a different kind of crash where people are still getting tired of games like they did in 1983, and that's why it crashed. Nobody was buying these things.
Yeah.
But because there's stakeholders, backholder, there's all these different things. It's different, but it's similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks to see it, but I'm glad that Lost Records is on schedule. But they did mention thank you for the partnership to Sony, and now we're in the forecast. But if they didn't get the deal from Sony to go on PS Plus, where would that paragraph go?
Mm,
Like, "Hey, we're
good point.
dipping in sales," but because of Sony's so we can also say, like, I'm going on a tangent right now.
That's fair.
We can all say that, like, Game Pass and PS Plus, are destroying the games industry, but there's a lot of times we see games like this that's, like, because of our deal with Game Pass, because of our deal with PS Plus, we're able to see another day. So I don't know if it's, a detriment because we're seeing all these reports of saying like, "Hey, we're on track in the forecast because of this deal."
Yeah. Because like you're right with that because like in itself as well, they haven't even put on Xbox Games Pass yet. Later this year,
No.
I imagine it'll go on, and that will be again where they can sign off a deal and it'll make X amount of money. Knowing like Xbox Games Pass is not a profitable system even for Microsoft. I remember listening to Colin Moriarty talk about this, and he was right about it. He was like, "It's not as profitable as people think it is. It's just not. It's the same with Netflix. Netflix is now making money, but for years and years they lost so much money on the streaming model. You have to build a big enough base, the same i.e. like Spotify." Then you start cashing in on the incentive where you have a subscriber base. And with video games, Microsoft has struggled to build that with the Games Pass system. And it's the same with PlayStation. Well, PlayStation Plus is lucrative in certain situations for certain developers, for others it's not. You might not like him, but Bobby Kotick was very much right about Activision and with Call of Duty. He's like, we're not putting it on Games Pass. Spot on. And I think you also mentioned the one with the developers who did the Dead Space spiritual successor as well.
Oh, Callisto Protocol, yes, and they
Yeah,
they adamantly, Schofield, I can't remember his name, the director, but he, like, adamantly, said, like, "No, we're not going on Game Pass, we're not doing it," in the game bomb. I have my physical I got Callisto Protocol day 1,
yeah.
and
It was
it didn't
Glenn Schofield, by the way, director.
Glenn Schofield, yes. Michael Schofield is from, Prison Break.
What a
Oh,
show. The first
yeah.
season. Oh, but anyway, continue.
Yeah, first season, let's put that in perspective.
Yeah.
First season,
And
phenomenal.
the second season, I would say, to a
Yeah,
certain
it
extent.
didn't get bad until 3rd, and then 4th one was like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah. Yeah.
The 3rd
I didn't
one
mind
in
the first
the
season.
yeah, the 3rd one in, oh, where were they in the prison?
Sonar with
Yeah,
Lechero.
yes. The
The
4th
milkman.
season was just like, "What are we doing?" But getting back to this, yeah, Glenn Schofield adamantly said, like, "No to Game Pass," and that
Yeah.
uh, who knows? Who knows if he did take it? We're going to
Mhm.
like tangibles of just like maybe he would have survived. But we can see right here with this earnings report that they said thanks for the money, Sony. We're now on track. It does bum me out about Jusant and Banishers.
Vanishes.
I feel like not enough people talked about Banishers. Not enough
And I
people
had a
talked.
publisher reminder.
Yeah.
Focus published that.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, it's like I don't put it on the fault of like Kinda Funny or IGN or like anything like that because at the same time, so many games are coming out, you know, um, especially around that time. But my point is that like Yes, like you said, Focus Interactive is more to blame on this because, man, your Focus Interactive, like, you could have, like, gotten more outreach, and Banishers is still a really good game. I think people should play it. Um, but yeah, the fact that it just wasn't talked about, I don't think people really fell in love with it. Um, Jusant especially. Oh, shame on you for
It-
not playing Jusant.
with Donut, and
They had a
Donut's
Game
not.
Pass deal. Jusant did.
Yeah, I went to because it was at the Xbox showcase. You know, when we were recording and they revealed it, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I didn't know this was them." Um,
yeah.
the thing is though with Donut has got bad earnings there. They were baked in though. The stock on the day I was watching it, and it didn't really do much until the end, and it dropped and it closed like 10% down. It's almost at its 52 weeks lows. It's at a very low value at the moment. And its market cap has almost been obliterated in certain respects. But they are not alone in the sense of the wider picture of the gaming industry. Ubisoft is struggling. Their stock's almost at a very low stock
Oh,
price
no,
isn't
no, no.
reflective of a company.
Assassin's Creed is saving them. It's selling like hotcakes.
But they didn't have a deal
Ubisoft
with Tencent
saved.
though. They didn't have a deal
Oh,
with Tencent where they spun off the subsidiaries with all their licenses. That's a different thing. It's that's a whole different thing. But like Assassin's Creed's there, and even Assassin's Creed as well. That series is still struggling to reinvent itself. It has name and recognition and brand like Life is Strange, but it's struggling
yeah.
to really make itself
I've
stand out in the
heard
industry.
I've heard it's selling like really well, but people are not loving it. Like they bought it and then they're just kind of like falling off of it. Like, oh, this is
Yeah,
not the same. So glad they made sales from it, but like a lot of people aren't enjoying it. I didn't buy it. I'm still on my
look where they've come
Ubisoft
out as well. Look at where they've come out as well. Not many games are coming out. That's why they're probably selling more as well because the games are still like there's publishers waiting until that Q4 window to see if Grand Theft Auto
I
comes
was
out.
gonna say, like, things are getting stacked right now, and I do like, there was one person who said, I can't remember who it was, but they said, "Oh, do you think that everything is just piling out before July?" Like, there's June. June is getting stacked. June is getting
Yeah,
really stacked. Tony Hawk is in July. Everybody's going into the first half of the year, especially Nintendo. Nintendo's, like, coming out, "Hey, we're coming out June." That date's not changing because once Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it's game over for everybody.
yeah.
And and it could be again, that could be another rise in the game industry. That could be what we needed. Like, all
Or
waves, yeah. Or
it doesn't come out and it pushes into 2026 and then it knocks on the schedule for games coming out in that area.
I'm I'm gonna bet that it comes out this year. I know Rockstar is like famous for delaying games. Like that's what they're best at. I think it's coming out this year. I think it is.
I know Jason Schreier said that he doesn't think he personally doesn't think it's going to meet 2025. And I've been following Take Two's earnings, and they have got mammoth bookings for Q4 2025, and they're keeping that.
Yep.
And that says that they have got it planned. But
It's
this
like
game has been years in the making. But
I
let's see if it
I
meets
wouldn't
it.
be surprised either way. I wouldn't be surprised if it does come out this year. Also, wouldn't be shocked if it's like delayed because again, remember Red Dead Redemption 2? It's
Yeah,
just like kept getting delayed and delayed. And I'm just like, when can I play this game, dude?
yeah.
Um, yeah. Can I make a confession on the show?
Go on.
Never beat a Grand Theft Auto in my life.
Really?
Never. Never have. I've played Grand Theft Auto 4 and I've like played a little Grand Theft Auto 3. Never once. I've never touched Grand Theft Auto 5. And it's like one of these biggest games industry. I'm like, nope, never beat one. Never beat one.
They are very interesting games though. Like I went and finished San Andreas recently for the first time when I was like playing the remastered version, the one that they
Yeah.
ported over because I never finished as kids. I mean, the first finish when I properly finished was GTA 5, and it took a bit of a slog. But anyway, let's move away from GTA. Let's get back
Yes.
on this part as well. On terms of Lost Records, like Lost Records still has certain windows where, for example, it can meet its summer release on physical version. I imagine maybe Xbox Games Pass in the future, and then it'll still probably be on sale perpetually for in the future. And there's like little incentives, even if there's a Switch 2 option explored. I know Michelle said that Switch 1 is pretty much out of the picture because of the the photo mechanic, not the photo mechanic, the video mechanic, the memoirs. He said it probably wouldn't even run on the Switch. It probably might even blow it up at that point. But like, Switch 2, it might be able to run it because somehow Square Enix is getting Final Fantasy 7 on Switch
Yeah.
2, like the remake. Like, God help us how
Yeah,
that
I
turns out.
saw
But
that. I was like, what the before Xbox. Dang, dude.
I do wonder how it's going to run now. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
when you see the 7 remake, I'm a bit like, and if Rebirth ever came to it, it's like you're probably gonna have to put two
They're
switches
putting
together to get like the power.
Did you see the I know we're going on tangents here, but did you see the graphical fidelity of Elden Ring on the Switch too? And I'm just like, nah. I'd
Yeah,
rather
well,
play on my Series X again. Yeah.
I saw the graphical fidelity and double exposure on Switch, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah, that was brutal.
that's not even a dig
Oh,
on deck. I'm like, why did you do that? Like, why did you do it, Square Enix? It's like, what's the point in that? But um, with them, they still got Windows to meet, and I think if anything, the only thing that can be good from Lost Records is it starts appearing in the royalties license, so they start making money off it. So it's like a slow burner, so the money keeps coming in over a period of time. So it's not like it's all coming in at once.
mm,
It'll come in over a period of time. And we even did that interview with Michel when we spoke about it, where he says that the studio's now set up, the R&D's there, and he's like, the development time won't be as long as this game, for example. So it's
yeah.
like they will turn games over at a faster pace. Because I think there's an interview with Oscar Gobert back in early this year on like French, I think it's in a French newspaper or something. He did say like it was around about 15 to 20 million euros, I think he said about Don't Know Montreal, and I don't know if he's implying just the game, which would be a bit too high, I think, or he's
Yeah.
talking about Don't Know Montreal in its entirety, which I think that's probably what he's talking about, including the game development, R&D costs, yada yada yada. So the long-term project can work for them in terms of producing games out. So that's not too much of an issue. The only thing I will say that in the Don't Know press release, like, and I say this in a respectful sense as well, Koira is a lovely title, but it's not going to move the needle. And the
Right.
Loathsome and Loathsome Guild as well. I like that game as well. Mr. Fox has got my eyes on him, and I probably will definitely play that because I'm just intrigued in the genre of it. But again, that's not moving the pipeline. Sorry, not pipeline. That's not moving the needle on the company. And then on
Yes.
top of that, you have 2 production lines, and you're looking for external publishers and stuff. So it tells you where Don't Nod is looking at in terms of what it needs. Because I'm a 100% firm believer that Don't Nod needs strength in its marketing team, and especially on its social media algorithms. It needs to really, really harness its social media following. It has a big social media following since Life is Strange.
Mm,
Use it to get these new games advertised, especially Lost Records. Get it on TikTok more. Get it on every single. There should be, for me, I don't know how their marketing works. Every single day there should be a TikTok video that's fired out about Lost Records on the Don't Nod page, just to
mm,
get people to see it, because it's free marketing. You don't even have to pay for it on TikTok. It's one of the biggest video scrolling platforms ever, and you can make a ton of revenue off it just off
mm,
that. So
mm,
they need to refine their marketing department, and even Oscar Gilbert's 6-pillar strategy that he's put there, or the Don't Know strategy, that tells you where the company's at, because they realize after a year in 2024, as we covered it, poor financial earnings, reorganization projects, suspension of certain production lines, restructuring of certain production lines as well, a union fight as well with STGV, then also reorganizing how many people they're laying off. This is where you need to do it in survival mode. Same with Deck Nine with its motion capture production service as well. You need to use your assets here to stabilize yourself in a climate, because even publishers are feeling it. Square's reports every single quarter look even worse and worse because the industry is stagnating. People don't have, we talked about it in the big Lost Records journal episode where we're talking about, like, people's disposable income, the state of the industry, the financing, all issues for Donut. And the press release paints interesting pictures of certain things because obviously, unsurprising, Life is Strange is still making royalties. Same with
mm.
Vampire. They're 2 successes for the studio. They need stuff like that. And even for like Lost Records to be a slow burner where it starts appearing in the books and it starts making money. And that's a good success for them, because I even said it once as well, a hot take, where I was like, it's a good thing that Lost Records isn't a sleeper hit maybe as the first Life is Strange, because if it did that, it could haunt Michelle for another generation. That game has haunted Square Enix, Deck Nine, and Don't Nod all at the same time. They've never been able to replicate what the first Life is Strange did. It was lightning in the bottle moment, and it has forever haunted that series. This game, for example, it's been well received, Lost Records, and it's also had a bit of a polarizing mix. It's a foundation point, and maybe a future entry could really hit the chord in the way that they want it to. And there's still like a lot of room of possibilities there. And in itself, to be an indie game as it is, it's built on a decent success size. I'm not giving it that kind of like, oh, I'm some don't know, kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
it's done amazing. It has done steady so far. they could pick up. Certain factors could play into it, and they might need to reformat things as well, including looking at more deals with PlayStation, for example, to roll this out as like a PS Plus launch again on another platform, or work with Xbox and certain deals with that. Because I know it's unpopular as well, and it's like I would love for the independence because obviously you see the soul and the creativeness, but there's even the opportunity where they have to maybe even explore working with a publisher. And I'd rather not, because obviously I'd want Don't Not to keep the IP, but maybe that's an option that comes up with it. I know Michelle said that we have the soul, we keep this, but maybe it's out of their hands at some point, or you work with a publisher to market this and sell it.
Yeah,
Or
it's a different environment than 2015.
yeah,
It's just a completely different environment for artists everywhere. Like we're not talking about just games. We're talking about movies. We're talking about music. Like the music industry is completely different than it was in 2015.
yeah,
So yeah, I it sucks for artists, especially like Michelle, who was like one of the greatest like artists in our lifetime. It sucks for them because they have this idea and they have this like push, but it
mhm.
doesn't matter. It's just like it's all we are currently in like severe late stage capitalism. So it's just like
It's flight mode for everyone, isn't it?
yeah.
Barring the one or two people like you're not even Call of Duty because it's part of Microsoft, but like probably like Rockstar or Rocksteady or Take Two. They're like
Yeah.
they don't have to be in flight mode because they know they've got a big hit around the corner. It's like everyone else is like in flight mode.
Yeah, it's just in today's market in games, you have to be. Um,
Yeah,
like Switches came out and they have to up their price in I think the controller, I think. They just came back. So like the system itself is made in Vietnam, but like every other parts is made in China. Um, yeah, no, it's just like right now
no, sorry to add on to that. PlayStation's put its prices up. Do you see that?
yeah, PlayStation put its prices up. Like we are currently in the worst administration that America's ever seen. Um, I'm talking about Reagan too. The worst administration like America's ever seen. And on top of that, like this administration couldn't have come at a worse time. It's just like the cherry on top of what was already happening in terms of like what capitalism is and what this has done is just kind of like magnified it essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks to like talk about all this, but like this is the reality. This is the reality of what we live in.
Yeah, it's because like my belief like in the past would have been like I would have loved, for example, like PlayStation to acquire Don't Nod. And
Mhm.
and I say this that I don't want it to be. I'm not a fan, but I'd like this game to be on every platform. I'd prefer them
Yeah.
to be on every platform. But I had a feeling that I'd love for like Don't Nod to be acquired by PlayStation in the past, but not now. Because like look at the Jim Ryan era of PlayStation. Look at the state of PlayStation. Look at its studios. Look at The Last of Us. Where we have like the 18th collector's edition now or something of the same game. And it's like you see all the other studios, the pioneering studios of PlayStation. Look what they're doing. Look how long it's taking for them to make games and to put them
Mhm.
out and the production values and stuff. It's like I wouldn't want Don't Not to be acquired by PlayStation now. But look at what they did with some of the studios that they did with like Concord. I'm like, yeah, that's fantastic. Do
I
we
don't
need
want
that? Or Bungie.
I don't want any kind of like take in, like any kind of acquisition, right? Like look what happened to Sesame Street because Max took it over, because HBO took it over. Um Sesame Street is no longer a thing, right?
Yeah,
It's insane because they all took them in. There's another time, yeah, like Night School Studio with Netflix. It's just like they got taken in by Netflix and oh layoffs, and now you have to make a Netflix game.
yeah,
It's great, you know. So we're in it, baby. Late stage capitalism, yay, hooray!
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It really does feel like that.
I'm not trying to say that like the answer is communism. However, the answer is also not late stage capitalism either.
No, it's not. I don't know where Don't Nod goes from here. There's like I think there's a lot of they really need to, because he keeps reinforcing that as well with Oscar Gilbert and even the Production press release about the climate of the industry. And it's
Mhm,
right because, like, for example, Harmony, Jusant, they're lovely games, but they're too niche now. And you're really, and those are projects you do when you have money and you have R&D and stuff. But even stuff like the publishing games, it's like they need to get a big hitter. They need the stability and the footing at the moment, at least, as like a Quantic Dream. And Quantic
mhm.
Dream, I believe, isn't a listed company on the stock market or something, but
It's
don't
not?
on I don't believe it is. No, I've never seen it on the Euro
That's wild.
on the French
That's wild.
thing here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I've never seen them as a listed company unless it's on the France stock, the European Stock Exchange, but I've never actually looked it up. But Don't Nod as a public company, that's when you become at the mercy of your stakeholders. And when Tencent owns almost a 40% position in Don't Nod, it's like you do have to really
Wow. You are
no.
correct. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. I
Quantum
think the big
Future.
hitters are I think the big hitters like EA, Activision obviously used to be on there. Um, Take Two, Capcom, Sony, obviously, Microsoft, Square Enix. These are all listed companies on their respective stock markets.
I
You can
for,
buy them anywhere.
I forgot NetEase acquired Quantic Dream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
look at that. Wow. What a time to live in as an artist. What
it
a
is.
day and age.
But
Yum.
it's hard though as well because everyone's playing anything, and it's like the variety of change. I don't have to go and buy brand new games because it's like I haven't played God knows how many games, and I could buy them at a discount price. So you
Yeah.
basically oversaturate and overpopulate the market.
Well, that's
Netflix has
why.
done it.
Yeah.
Netflix has done it as an interesting strategy. So Netflix now as well, if you ever follow them, they don't report their subscriber base anymore. So the
Nope.
stock used to fluctuate on their subscriber
Yeah.
base. That is now not revealed in Netflix's report. And what they're giving you is revenue and how much they're making because they're now generating cash flow.
Yep.
And Netflix has also said that they want to aim for 1 trillion valuation by 2030. So they are upscaling and becoming like a big tech company among also doing their video content service. But if you go on Netflix's interface, how much do you really enjoy on there? And all of it is like rehashed media consumption. And it's like sometimes people don't pick what they choose from there. They just watch it. They just
Yeah.
like get an algorithm feeding them. So yeah, it's a really hard time for the industry. And even with Don't Nod as well, like I can see the production lines changing and stuff because those projects and when they said like we need to reformat them, the two in the pipeline, it's like I can see what they're doing now because they realize that we have the disposals, we need to now outstretch them. And they can make good games. Vampire has shown that. Banishes has shown that. Other things have shown that they need one of those games. And also, the best thing that they've said in there so far, for me at least, is we are willing to work on established IPs with established publishers, which is good
Yes.
because they need to do that as well. You can keep your independence in a certain respect, but other projects, they do need to work on stuff like that because then they don't take the big hits. And a benefit is that you appear on the royalties. And one thing I forgot to even mention there, because I think we'll come towards the end of this as well. Life is Strange is the increase in royalties as well, obviously from Vampire and Life is Strange. Probably double exposure had a bit of a knock on effect there in
Yeah.
terms of like people buying Life is Strange because it brings it back into the public consciousness. So that's a benefit to Don't Nod. So yeah, I think it's an interesting picture, and obviously like you won't be seeing Jusant and Banishers appearing left, right, and center because they've written down the assets in their earnings. And I think when there was a previous press release before that, they said they were laying off about 50 people or so in the reorganization projects format. And I think it was like 5 million euros, I think it was going to save or something, like annual increase. And you start seeing this with big tech and other companies as well, where it's like they lay off people because then their books start increasing cash flow and increase all the other stuff that they need for their company. So Don't Nod is in a very precarious situation. I do wish them the best of luck with that. And as long as Lost Records is solid success, that's okay because I think they can expand on that. And I think they really need to up the marketing team because we talked about it on one of the episodes where we were saying like it was just Marin and one other person at Don't Know Montreal, and you have a marketing team in Paris, but it needs to use its social media feeds to really hit home the algorithm. And I think it will start doing it a little bit more with Lost Records being out now in its full entirety. So fingers crossed on that. But
Yeah.
wish them the best of luck. I don't have enough. I always said this. I have no tribalism debate between Deck Nine and Don't Know. That's I have met a lot of people from both those studios, and those people I've met are lovely. And it's like I have nothing against either of them, so I wish them the best of luck amid dealing with monolithic publishers and whatnot. So, as you will. Anything else, Adam?
Numbers.
Numbers. Actually, that was a number because like one thing I'll put up here quickly. I forgot to mention this because we had it on here. Um, this was on that Wall Street article I popped up. I'm not
Mm.
sure if it's going to quickly pull up this article here. Hopefully it does. Yes, there it is. This is on Simply Wall Street. It's not completely accurate on other certain things. Like you have to go and look at it. Look at that. So in their stock value portfolio, when they're looking at Don't Nod stock, they say it does not have a meaningful market cap. So it's down to 9 million euros. That's what the company is valued at. It has a volatile stock price on compared to other French markets, which it does. If you ever buy the stock, it's very volatile. And it's currently unprofitable and not forecast to become profitable over the next 3 years. So
Mm.
the damage is like massive on Donut in terms of where it's at. Look at that 9.2. That's like pocket change for Sony to buy a company like this at this point. You're like, you wouldn't buy it at 9 million. You'd have to pay a premium. So that I think you'd probably have to tell stock shareholders that we're selling at $10 or €15 or something. Because like Activision did it. I think Activision was trading at around about $60 before the deal was announced, and when the deal was announced, the premium was to buy it at $95, and it sold at about 67 billion or something, whatever it was for Microsoft. But as you can see, it's not the best thing. Look at that plunge.
Mm. Jeez.
Earning minus 64.3 million, and it's like now projected to get back into a thing about 2030, sorry. So its
Yeah.
earnings would be very small. Like the revenue's 3.4 million, earnings of about 441,000 euros, which is, yeah, there's a long
Yeah.
process here to get this company back on footing, which
Like
we'll
it,
see.
it really you remind me of this one thing that's you were talking about that, and it just
There we go. The stonks.
stonks.
I
That's
love
my
that.
that's my addition to this conversation.
Yeah, unfortunately, stonks ain't stonksing at the minute for the market. So let's move on because it's a pretty bleak picture. But yeah, best of luck to Don't Nod. Adam, on better news, I think this is actually a better news as well, and
Yes.
I think you'll enjoy talking about this. So there she is, the lovely Tessa Rose Jackson. Woo!
Yes.
So Tessa Rose Jackson won Best Music in a Game award at the Buma Music in Motion. If you know as well, Tessa Rose Jackson was the score composer and songwriter for Deck Nine's title. She worked with Feel for
Well
Music
deserved.
on the game. Yeah, very well deserved. So it's very cool that she was there and she won that award there. And there's also here as well, as you can see, I'll pull up the jury report in a moment, Adam, actually. So there was Tessa Rose Jackson. I just tweeted about it quickly. She won in this category. So it was she was against
Oh
Jelle
wow.
Ditama for for Days of
Ditmar.
Doom.
Yes.
Sander Van Zanten, Deliver Us Mars, and obviously Tessa Rose Jackson for Life is Strange Double Exposure. Also, as well, Felice Kwan and John Stauder, so the former Deck 9 developers. Felice Kwan was narrative director. John Stauder was game director on Life is Strange Double Exposure, were on the stage there for the screen appearing. I tried to look for the video and I couldn't find it online anywhere. So, but they were there and they obviously showed Tessa Rose Jackson her recognition for winning that award. I'm
Yes.
going to pull this down for a second. I'm just going to pull up what Tessa Rose Jackson said, Adam, and then I'll show you the other things. I would like to hear your perspective on it because it was interesting. I went and looked for that.
I
But as you can see
was
that,
sorry. I was just about to say Deliver Us Mars. I'm like, that wasn't this year. Yeah, that came out February 2nd, 2023. Deliver Us Mars. That's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, on Instagram now as well. So Tessa Rose Jackson put, well, this is wild. Thank you for the Burn Music, that award ceremony. For the award, Best Music in a Game for Life is Strange Double Exposure. Obviously, this award is just as much as mine as it is for the team at Feel for Music. As you can see, all the tags are there. This was such a group effort, and I'm so proud to have been a part of it. Thank you, John Stauder and Felice Kwan, for the unbelievable kind words, and Square Enix and Deck Nine Games and the other tags there for this absolutely dream project. The composer's heart is full, which I thought that might hit you as well. But congratulations to my fellow nominees for their beautiful work. I'm proud of this tag for winning best music experience for gorgeous music for Thingy. And as you can see there, so Tessa Rose Jackson in her photos, in her element, which is quite nice. So 100% thoroughly deserved for that win.
Yes.
And then just to pull up this as well, Adam, because I'll pull it back up because this was the extra detail. I think it was really interesting how they did this. I've never seen it for like a game awards thing here. But this was the jury report. So I'm not going to pull the jury report up because it's in Dutch and I translated it into English via the Google Translate. So this was listed under Tessa Rose Jackson's win, and this is what they described for it. So they put the music immediately invites you into the world of the main character of this game. Divided over 3 layers of songs, piece. I'm sorry, I'm going to zoom this in because otherwise it's going to drive me loopy. Oh, no, yeah, we're just messing that up. There we go. Yeah. Sorry. Divided over 3 layers of songs, pieces composed on images and in-game loops, the musical accompaniment slowly develops under the game. The song seamlessly transitions into the narrative music, creating an immersive, all-encompassing score. The fact that the music does its work both in the foreground and in the background shows the versatility of the
Yes.
composer, who also has a beautifully introspective singing voice that immediately impresses in the opening number, which I thought was a very cool thing. And as you can see there as well, there's the winners of all the awards, Tessa Rose Jackson there in her lovely outfit. So big up Tessa Rose Jackson. But yeah, I wanted to bring the award thing because what did you make of that kind of like detailed report of the jury thing, because I've never really seen anything like that in at least for a game. To kind of like, this is why we gave it.
Oh, the report on why. Let me just read that one more time because I did appreciate uh the way they worded it. Oh, come on now. With the way of like the foreground and the background, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, like what they all said of I wanted to get the wording just correctly. Whatever. It is what it is. Um
would you like me to pull it
yeah,
back up for you?
so the musical accompaniment slowly develops, seamlessly transitions into narrative music, creating impressive. So, like, yeah, but that's the thing about composing for like anything, a movie, a game, uh, a short film. So the hard thing to step the toes onto composing is like you want to like have the music add elements to it, but not also be the star of the show. You
Yeah.
wanna be that little balance of just, like, getting some emotion put in without just, like, being all about you as the rock star, right? And I think Tessa Rose Jackson, like, hit the nail on the head when it came to Double Exposure.
Yeah.
Both of us said that, like, the 2 things that we loved about Double Exposure was Hannah Tell and Tessa Rose Jackson. Like, that was insanely good music, from her. Um there's only a few games that really reaches kind of standard. I'm gonna say this right now. Tessa Rose Jackson is on the same wavelength as Olivia de Riviere
Oh,
in a way
really?
of
Well, that's a move.
I
That's a very good
I
compliment.
100% think that because if you play South of Midnight, which the game I was decent
Yeah.
on, the music is so insanely good, like, insanely good, like, that it was a standout from that because it, like, towed the line between the foreground, the background, making sure that the narrative stays on point with what the song is doing. Same thing with Tessa Rose Jackson.
Mhm.
Did a fantastic job onto making, like, both the foreground and the background, and making the narrative match the music. The fact that she played on Freddie Mercury's piano, is that correct? Like,
Yeah, it was,
that
yeah, that's
I would I would soil myself if I was in the same
yeah.
room as Freddie Mercury's piano man, but, like, yeah, she nailed it, so yeah, no, I'm 100% like behind this, through and through. Like I said, the interesting stuff I saw Deliver Us Mars. I'm like, that's an older game. Why was that nominated? But
The
um,
the company that was doing it, I didn't really look into it. It's a very different one. I think it's like a Dutch company, maybe, or
mm,
it's something to do with like in that, because obviously Tessa Rose Jackson is like, I don't know if she was born here. I think it's like, or she's born in the Netherlands and then came here and she lives in London or something. I feel like I can't remember the specifics. Obviously, she's parked a lot around in the UK. Um, but yeah, it's kind of a different system that they do that entire thing. But I'm glad that she won it, because like the fact that none of the Life is Strange games, no matter the quality, have ever been nominated for a BAFTA is
mhm,
mind-boggling. Have never got into the Game Awards. And I know this is when Life is Strange competes with the big AAA behemoths and stuff. I don't really care because it's not that niche enough not to do it. Because it's like, for example, Ruth Radler, Adam Miller, Nat Walker. Is it Adam Miller? I think it's Adam Miller.
yes,
Nat
Adam Miller.
Walker, um, Milk and Bone, and Nora Kelly Band
Mhm,
should be in every music category this year to compete for
yes,
that album, because that soundtrack on Lost Records Bloomer Rage is phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and it's the same with Tessa Rose Jackson. I actually have gone back and listened to this soundtrack quite a lot, and I think it's really good. Like, you're right about in the sense of when we talked about in the review, where it's like, they needed different beats, like, to match certain environments. Like, it does feel
mhm,
like it's one tonal theme, barring probably Illusion. But and even that's a banger from her. Like, the songs are very consistent in certain respects. Like, obviously, I love Chloe Morondo's September. I thought it was a fantastic song. And same with Tessa Rose Jackson, all her songs. But even, for example, that first level, and after talking to Back Here, where Max comes in and you see the music, it's Tessa Rose Jackson, the dun dun, dun and her
yes,
music plays. It's actually that accompanies and enhances what we get. Obviously, we know how Double Exposure ends. We're not doing revisionist history, but we have done interviews with like Back Air, for example, and you've watched that and we saw the response. And thank you for the response as well, because you guys realize that it's not just the same culprits who have diminished what people's recognition on that project is, because there's more Back Airs that worked on this project. Um, you see it with Tessa Rose Jackson, the way she did the music, and it's fantastic. It was an evolution of Life is Strange because they have moved away from all those licensed tracks and among many other things that they used to do, but it was one that was actually fairly decent in certain respects. And I think she really, really did what she needed to do in this Components project. It's a shame that the project let her down on the entire narrative front and whatnot,
Mm.
but she really delivered for what she did as a composer. She's one of those people where she'll stay in that legacy of Life is Strange, where it's going to be like you will put her along with Daughter, along with Jonathan Morelli, along with Angus and Julia Stones, because she rightfully deserves her place in that Life is Strange royalty, and there's no doubt about it because the music was very good. But I like that the jury report was there, and it also gave you a reason why she won and what they saw in the music, and I thought it was very eloquently put in the way it's presented because the music industry with games as well, I think is even better. It's better than it's ever been. I think
Yeah.
that's one thing that the gaming industry has maintained at high quality, and it's shown with Lost Records. Like that vinyl, I can't wait to get, and it's like this, the vinyl for hers as well for like double exposure. No matter what the game quality is, I'm happy that I have it because she did really good music on it, and it shows in the project. So completely deserved from Tessa Rose Jackson. I'm glad that she had that moment
Mhm.
where she got to pick up an award for it because it does feel like this should have been at the Game Awards, it should have been at the BAFTAs, and it should have been challenging for other awards because the music soundtrack is very good. So yeah, congratulations to Tessa Rose Jackson. It
Yes.
kind of came out of nowhere that, but we're very surprised and we're very thankful that she won as well, and she looked so happy as well. Do you know what I was going to say as well? Because there's a photo as well. She was on I think she was on the tube or something, or like she's on an underground, and she had like a bottle of champagne and the award. And I
Yes.
was like, that it's very Tessa Rose Jackson code. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to her. So I think we'll should we go into that other piece of news quickly? I think it's not that long.
No.
And then
This one's
we're
an
almost at
interesting
the end.
one.
Yeah, it is actually an interesting one. So let's go into this because I was kind of like, and other people have pointed this out as well. So on the April the 15th as well, you can see that the Gaming Awards, they have announced Game of the Year for the Gaming Awards 2025. So you have Dragon Age, the Veilguard, Dragon's Dogma 2 from Capcom. You have Fear the Spotlight from, is that Cozy Games Pals? Is that the actual name of them? Cozy Game, yeah, Cozy Game
Bloomhouse
Pals.
games, yeah.
Let Michelle that follows them.
What?
Yes, Michelle follows them.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Cozy Game Pals.
Um,
Yeah.
Life is Strange Double Exposure. It's funny as well, but why have they not tagged Square Enix or like they've run out code there? Anyway, Paper Mario: The Thousand Years Door from Nintendo America and The Last of Us Part 2 remastered from Naughty
Mm.
Dog. So that's the nominations, and I got it over here as well. This is the voting criterion basis. The categories: Game of the Year. The Game of the Year celebrates the best game released in June 2024 as chosen by a diverse panel of judges. The nominees of this category are selected by our community council, and the winner is chosen by judges. So
Mm.
that's the story. But yeah, as you can see there, they're at the Game Awards nominations. Can we? Who do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Can I point something out? Because then I looked into Cozy Game. Their story is, I'm sorry, can we go on a little tangent here? Because what the heck? I've
What?
not, this is actually pretty interesting. Hold on. So this is on their website, Cozy Games, and this is their first game. This game was developed by Krista and Brian. Krista was an art director at Nickelodeon and art lead on Animaniacs. Brian worked on The Last of Us, Uncharted, and Journey. And this is like their first project. So
That's
I'm
interesting.
keeping Switch. But yeah, no, like that's, and it's published by Bloomhouse. So um no, yeah, and Michelle follows them. So that's enough for me to put my mind on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, this piece of news, it's a little interesting. One, because we discussed this on the off of it. Last of Us Part 2 remastered. Game of the year.
What?
Yeah.
That's a disgrace. That is an Do you know what? Leave
Yes.
the award blank at that point. And I'm sorry, I have my own unhinged rants I can go about The Last of Us Part 2, which would probably be deeply unpopular. But one thing I'm saying is it should be not even anywhere near that right now, considering
Yeah.
how old it is. And
Yeah.
it was I don't think it was just me, I think someone else might point. I think it might be Ken on Twitter, someone like
It's not
said
even
like,
that old and it got a remaster. It came out 2020.
yeah, and also someone said I know on Twitter it was like what a diabolical year it's been for gaming. Like
Yeah.
the 2024 gaming recognition. I'm like, yeah, it's so true. But The Last of Us Part
Yes.
2 Last of Us Part 2 remastered being like there. that sums up where the industry is at right now. Because like even Naughty Dog, oh my god, if you like pull up that list of like the games that they've made in the last like 20 years and the way it's just been filtered down to where it's at now, and they got that one game coming out next, which I don't think is going to do that well. Um, it's a very sad trend there, but Double Exposure has made it there. Um,
Mm.
I mean, it's not even for like the social impact award; it's actually for game of the year, which I'm like, really? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, why what? I'm like, that should not be contending for game of the year. Like, because do you want annoys me as well about that as well? It's like, for example, that will get like a game of the year nomination, but then Lost Records won't, for example. And it's not a tribalism thing. It's like Lost Records is just a better product than that in so many respects of it. And
Yes.
that's getting nominated for a game of the year. Obviously, it's for 2024, 2025 might be different. Lost Records might appear, but ultimately, I just don't like stuff like that because it's like, what is it getting nominated for Game of the Year?
Yeah.
Anyone who's getting nominated for narrative and stuff like that, nominate it for music, nominate it for visual effects or something, nominate it for the things where it's actually good for. You can't put it in narrative and game of the year. You're putting in a game of the year nomination for a game that doesn't explain who killed the character that dies in the game. They do it in
Yeah.
the trailer. I went back and watched the reveal trailer because I'm just doing a bit of research. And I was like,
Yes.
it's like, and they'll even say it's like the killer will strike in both times. I was like, when? Like, when is this
But
killer going to strike in both timelines?
I will say this because it is the gaming awards, they're looking for representation in that community and how many games are coming out with that kind of representation that they
Yeah.
can give Game of the Year award to. So I understand. I understand because like they have to like scrape the batter out of the bucket with Life is Strange Double Exposure. I hate saying that because we just had Becky here on. He works so hard.
Lovely guy. He's so
Yeah.
talented.
Um and then we have Last of Us 2 remaster and also another remaster, Paper Mario. That is in your
How are
tour.
we getting remastered? I'm a firm believer that even, for example, remakes should not be nominated for Game of the Year. No matter how good they are. I've played some of them. I played Resident Evil 4 and stuff. Should
Yeah.
never be in Game of the Year conversation. Even if you add one or two scenes and you change little things. No, the foundation was already set up for you to be successful. The only thing that happens when a remake comes out and if it's bad, then we critique it because it's like,
Yeah.
how did you mess up something so badly? So it's like if Life is Strange was remade, if Life is Strange was remade,
Yes.
and it should never be in Game of the Year conversation. Never. Because it's like it should not be warranted on that because it's all that is the Don't Nod team that has already done the foundational work for it, and the Square Enix external studio helped them. That foundation's already set for you. You can't getting remakes and remasters and stuff in. What are we doing, man? Didn't Jeff Keighley do this last year when we were talking about it as well? When he put a game in there, it was like, why is this in there? Was it like Resident Evil remake or something? Or one of the years when Resident Evil 4 remake was in Game of the
Uh,
Year?
I think it was Resident Evil 4. I think people had a controversy. I don't think people really argued against Resident Evil 2 because it was such a that was a remake. That was like a
Yeah,
ground up like that changed how you play Resident Evil 2.
yeah.
I think it was Resident Evil 4 that people were just like,
Yeah,
"Why?"
because I think like a dragon got knocked out of the category and a couple others, and you're like,
Yes.
actually, this could have, and it's like that's the issue. Because it's like it's just not being it unless you're going to start. And the worst part is what will be the indictment for the game industry is when they do the remake slash remastered category, and it's gonna be like, oh, are we actually there now in the awards section? Um, like it's hard because I think you stopped me before when I was going on a double exposure unhinged rant, but it's like at that gaming awards thing there, it should be up for like music again for Tessa Rose
Yes.
Jackson, and it should be up for like other categories. It should not be up for game of the year. It's like that is just not. But as you said, it probably is that they probably are scraping at the bottom of the barrel for like their nominations if they're putting remasters in there and stuff. It's just what a sad sight. What a sad sight.
It really is. I'm
Um,
pulling for Fear the Spotlight, though. I'm pulling for it. I
yeah,
haven't played it yet, but I'm pulling for it.
yeah. Let's it'll be more surprising for me if they do win, because it's like considering the way Life is Strange is being received in a lot of things, it would be very surprising. Should we move into our next piece of news? Maybe we should bundle this one into the quick fire if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
'Cause,
Absolutely. We're here with the Wii news where you get all the
okay, so I know people are divided on this one,
Yeah.
which is that we bowled over by Easter egg in the new free PowerWash simulator update available today. Um, I'm gonna ask you, Adam, before what did you make? What do you make of this? I'm interested
Uh,
to see it because
Power Wash Simulator, it's people play it. I don't know. Like I don't really make too much of it just because like there's a lot of Easter eggs that are hidden within Power Wash Simulator. Like we had that Shrek DLC
yeah,
and it's so I don't know. I just think that like Square contacted this really popular game and just said put Hot Dog Man in the cookie thing. I don't know. I don't really make too much of it,
So,
to be honest.
do you want me to give you some perspective on this? This is really interesting.
Yes.
A lot of people are very divided in that. Some people are saying it's actually quite cool in the replies and stuff, right? Some people are look at the state of the franchise and stuff, the usual kind of like talk. Let's just actually pull up the replies quickly, just to
I'm
give you
happy for
context.
those people.
I do want to pull up the context. So obviously you can see that. I feel sorry for the audience. Out of full life, no marketing, some adorable. OMG. More games should be doing little things like this. Clearing up arcade with true ending. I'm a lovely person.
Likely.
I'm gonna leave inside. Oh, this is so cute. Fine, I'll buy a PowerWash simulator. So very mixed reception there, right? Some
Cool.
mixed ones. Obviously, there's a bit of spam, right?
Good for those people.
Yeah. So mixed reception, and even I saw like during the quote tweets as well. Some people are doing it like that. One thing I did notice as well, and I was just like sleuthing as well.
Ah.
Luke commented on this on Instagram
Mm.
and thought it was very cool. He was like, "I love this
Huh.
Easter egg," which I'm in the vein of like I don't really mind
Well,
this
you
kind of stuff
can't
because it's like
say because
yeah,
Luke is the biggest fan of Hot Dog Man. Like he
of
is.
course,
There is no fan larger than life for
gay,
Hot Dog Man than Luke.
gay.
Uh, no, because who was running the Hot Dog Man Twitter?
That's true. Yeah, sorry, Dave.
Yeah, who
Fair
was
enough.
running the Hot Dog Man Twitter? It wasn't Day, it was Luke. So like Day is a close second. Day is a very
Okay.
close, if not tied. But of course, Luke thinks it's cool. This would be like if Master Chief came into Power Simulator. I would be like I would be glazing at this point.
Oh god. And someone commented that in the last video as well. I was like, I need to reply to that comment as well. Like, come on, man. Like, because yeah, I saw Luke comment. And it's like this isn't this is like actually quite nice as a little reference. I'm like I don't take that like Square's taking a lot of L's at the moment. This one's I'm like cool. I'm like it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's not offensive. I don't
Nah.
really have an opinion on it.
You can have your opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I don't mind stuff. I like, for example, if Lost Records did this, fantastic, great.
Mm,
It'd be cool to see it. I
yeah,
like when games cross over respectfully, and they aren't like it's not like a Fortnite crossover or something. This is like decent, so it's good. So we'll continue on anyway. And Adam as well, your lovely Everton people are playing. I just noticed that in the corner.
yeah. They're playing at 10 a.m. my time.
There we go.
Yeah,
So as you can see, Adam,
Manchester
Daniel,
City. I'm not watching that.
yeah, we don't like Manchester City on this podcast. So Adam, as you can see here, happy birthday to Daniel Diaz, celebrating the
Hey,
Life is Strange Twitter account.
look at that.
Which is
Life
always
is
quite
Strange
nice.
using a different picture of Daniel. Look at that.
Yeah, the art
It's
from a
still it's
different artist.
Sean. Sean, they always use the same picture.
Yes, Sean. Yeah, the happy birthday. I hope that comes up. When that comes up, guys, we will be covering it. If it's
Yes.
changed, fantastic. And as you can see here as well, I'll just put this in as well. Jean-Luc Cano, him from Life is Strange, key architect, even from Lost Records as well. And also put happy birthday, little wolf, wherever you are. I hope you are well and safe. Don't worry to the Lost Records Journal commenter because I'm converting Adam to Lost Records, to Life is Strange too. So don't you worry about that. And then finally, quick one as well, just for we always do these miscellaneous topics. Legendary Edouard Caplain, Jusson, Life is Strange 2. You know him, his work. He's put here, if you're around in Vancouver and want to see me make sweet making, sorry, want to see me sweat making an image, I'll be around on the 26th of April. See you there. So it's a bit of a plug there. So if you are there, well worth it as an experience. It's really cool. And if you want to see as well, Adam, we responded to him. And then also,
Hey.
which is very cool. Yeah, that's
looks
cool.
like you can get on a. Oh, this event is sold out. If you go on the website, it says
Oh.
this event is sold out. Join the wait list to be notified if a spot opens up. So, unfortunately, you snooze, you lose.
Oh dear. Yeah. So you're not getting any from that, unfortunately.
No. Yeah.
So that's that. So yeah, we're done here. Adam, should we move into our comment of the day and then the main sorry, what's the comment of the day? Spread the arts, and then we're done. So
Yeah.
should we do our comment of the day?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this is from I'm just pull it up here quickly. So this is from Wicked. Is it Wicked?
Wick the line. Wick the
Wick
line.
the line. Wick the line.
Yeah. Wick the line. 866K. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to lead to that. So this was in reference to our last episode, and obviously we were talking a lot about the Life is Strange TV show and whatnot. And they put, if they're still doing the TV adaptation, I'd like it to be on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Shame both platforms are hit and miss, like most platforms are. And if it does follow through, I'd like it for this first season to adapt Life is Strange and Before the Storm. Second season adopting Life is Strange. Life is Strange 2, sorry. Third season adapting True Colors. Fourth season adapting Double Exposure, but
Mm.
so just as a comment,
But
it's fourth
better.
season adapting Double Exposure in brackets, but better,
Yeah.
and so forth. Shame that the reality is mostly disappointing with most of these TV adaptations. Apart from Last of Us and Fallout as primary
Yes.
exemptions, a guy or girl can dream Life is Strange can end up like those, and not like Halo and The Witcher, which
The Witcher season 1 was great. And
yeah.
then it started to be, yeah, I get you. I didn't even watch the Halo series just because I had heard. I had
Was that
heard.
the Spielberg TV show, or was that like the
Yes,
Spielberg produced? I think it was.
I think Spielberg directed and produced. I can't remember.
Did he
I know
direct
he
it?
was
I think he
I don't
produced it,
know.
didn't he?
I think he produced it. I can't remember who directed it, but yeah. Um Yeah, I had heard about Halo, and I was like, "No, I'm a massive Halo fan." And I'm like, "I don't want that in my life, dude. I don't need that. I don't need that stress in my life. I had to deal with
So,
yeah, I had to deal with Halo Infinite. I don't have to deal with this."
so it's developed by Kyle Killen and Stephen Kane.
Hmm.
Showrunners are
Okay.
Kyle Killen, Stephen Kane, and David Weiner. Um, but I can't remember if this is. Oh, he's an executive producer. Spielberg. He was one of the
Okay.
executive producers. It's not
Yeah,
Spielberg in the past, but it's
man.
Spielberg.
But yeah, going back to this comment, uh, I agree half of this. Netflix or Amazon is one of the only ones you can like really put this kind of show on. Like you can't really put it on CBS or NBC. Like it won't have a market
No.
there. Um, and to adapt it to each game, I'm like, I don't agree with that one. Um, one because I think you should do it a lot like Emma Vicelli, where like she like kind of continued it through the comics, like made it like brand new story, brand new art, like brand new arch. I think the first season should follow Life is Strange 1. That I agree with because you have to lay down the basis for like new viewers or anything like you have to put down the lore, but in the same way of Fallout. Fallout, phenomenal show. Oh my god,
Mhm.
great. Like it actually like hit Fallout in like just the right ways. In fact, oh, where's my death claw? Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't see my little there he is. That's my little death claw right there. Um yeah, I love Fallout. So now I'm super low. But yeah, no, I do agree that you have to set down the lore, but to then follow each season with each game, eh, eh, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of hard now as well because it smashed the anthology model, and then it's like to kind of move back and forth would just be crazy. Like Life is Strange isn't as popular enough to do that anymore, and the problem is as well like that TV adaptations aren't as good as they used to be as well because like in
Mhm.
the early days of Netflix and maybe like even Prime, like you probably would have got a more high quality show, but like oh god, like when this TV show pops up, my god, like I'm already like worried for the worst because it's like yeah, because I think one of the other commenters would made a spot on point. It's like you need the licensed music, for example. Because imagine if they remade the first Life is Strange and they couldn't get the licensed songs for certain scenes, and you're a
Mhm.
purist, you're going to sit there being like, "Oh, well, that's a bit underwhelming and a bit like,
Yeah.
kind of thing." And they need licensed songs, and then what you're going to do? Put it on TikTok, and do you have the license to put it on there on YouTube and other platforms? Because they're going to have to try and sell it to other people. So um, yeah, it's an interesting comment. I just don't really want to see the TV show at all now, to be honest. Like, I think where the series is at right now, I'm like being a bit macabre and stuff. It's like, I don't think they'll
That's what I
do
mean.
it justice.
I have no opinion on it until I get more information. Like the fact that we
Yeah.
see Shawn Mendes possibly, I'm like, I have to see more. I have to see more. Get Tessa Rose Jackson
Yeah,
to
that
come
might be
out.
good.
That would be
Or Emma.
great, dude. Yeah.
Or even Emma. She's done in Broadway at the moment.
Oh, yeah?
Um, yeah, go and follow her on Blue Sky. She's hilarious.
I do
She's
follow
been
him,
doing
Blue
like
Sky, I'm just never on it. Yeah,
I think
that's
she's doing
funny.
like in the tail end of like I think it was either last year or like the early this year. She's been like doing this musical like proper like left. I was like Emma. I was listening to her on I think it was BBC. I think it was Cambridge or something, or like it was a Cambridge like local
Mm,
TV, local radio station, which was quite interesting to hear her talk about the. Yeah, I love Emma Vicelli. Yeah, I think I'm not really too sold on any of these. Like, I think the comments really like quite fitting on like a lot of points, and maybe not on the adaptation. I think like the quality, whether it turns out to be like The Last of Us or The Witcher compared to Halo or whichever TV show it is. I haven't watched Last of Us yet. I do need to watch it at some point. I'm not really overly blown away by The Last of Us. Um, I mean, like in the sense of the franchise, I don't really care for it as much.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't think there's much to really adapt with video games to TV shows at the moment. I think they've not really done a good job with them, and I think they could have done them. They could have tried to do it years ago. Like the fact that Uncharted doesn't have a TV show is like quite surprising. It has a film, which was terrible, but like you know, other things, I just don't think Life is Strange. It's hard to do Life is Strange because like the only thing that I could think that they do is they make it one series off the first game and then they make it into a separate its own universe where it's like its own characters told in a Life is Strange style kind of way. But I just don't see them switching from like Life is Strange 1, setting all that up, and then going to Life is Strange 2, which is a completely different game, then going to like Life is Strange True Colors, and then going to Double Exposure and trying to keep changing back and forth. I think it's going to cause
Mm.
quite a lot of issues. And whatever platform it ends up on, like this is the thing. It's saturated market. It's oversaturated. I might sound like I'm being like, but like, name me one thing that's like really blown you away on TV at the moment.
At the moment,
Yeah,
I mean, besides Fallout I still think about, but uh, uh,
are people
yeah,
still talking about Rings of Power?
I hope not. God, I hope not. Have you seen the first season?
No, my brother said to me because he's a huge Lord of the Rings fan now.
Yeah,
He's like I don't know why. When I went to see him, it's like he randomly got really into Lord of the Rings. He like deeply in terms of he's actually
yeah,
like read the Tolkien stuff. But he loves like the films that were made by Peter Jackson, and he doesn't mind the Hobbit films either. Um, but he said the
yeah.
TV show is slow, and then it's like you have to like really focus on it, and then like he just
It's
fell off on it, and he's like, it's just no, it's not the one.
yeah. If anybody's read the Silmarillion, that even reads faster than how the show goes. And if you know anything about that, um, yeah, no, it's yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
unfortunately right now shows are just so focused on getting the right IP and making the most money off of it. It's insane. They're just it's just brand recognition at this point with television series.
yeah, pretty
I
much.
don't know.
They're just trying to hold on at the moment. But yeah, thank you for the comment though. It's really appreciated. And obviously, if you have any comments as well, leave them on this episode, whether it's about Don't Nod or the Tessa Rose Jackson or even anything. We always have a comment on the podcast, so please do leave it. We'll pick out one at random. We try and always
Mhm.
rotate between people. So thank you for that comment as well for this one. Adam's. Do you know
Spread
what
the
we've
art.
done so many? Yeah, we've done so many Lost Records journals episodes and stuff. And my mind is complete. But yeah, spread the arts. Would you like to go first?
Yeah. Since we're speaking about a TV series, I'm gonna spread a TV series that super inoffensive. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just kind of like right in the middle of just like, hey, I'm just gonna put something on. Me and my wife are watching for the first time Superstore. It was on
Okay,
NBC. The creator Justin Spitzer was a producer on The Office, so that's what really
right.
got us into it. And if you don't know what Superstore is, it's about a big box store like a Walmart or like a Costco, like a big
Hmm.
box store, and it just talks about like working in it with like little hoot and hannies, but it does talk about the stupidity of customers a lot. It does touch on like the stupidity of like the average customer in these box stores. There's this one scene where they're just like they shout like, "Is there a doctor in here?" Who am I kidding? Is there Cloud9? Is there anybody that watches Grey's Anatomy or Blacklist or anything like? So it talks about that. I don't know. I think it's we're on the second season. If you need
Right.
something just to like pass the time for, I don't know, 4 years, something like that.
Mhm.
If you need to pass the time for something like that, Superstore. It's pretty nice. It's on Hulu.
Okay. No, it sounds like
Yeah.
I like when you said the reference about when you work as in that kind of place and you realize the people you're working with, and it reminded me all I could think of was like Clerks, or then for example
Clerks.
like Friends. When
Yes.
you get older as well, and you watch those, I really hate the thing with Friends where people like it's overrated or whatever else of it. I think Friends, every time I watch it, is even better, especially when you watch it
It's a
like late.
new element as you age up, yeah.
Yeah, that's the best element of it, and it's the when you keep watching, you get certain milestones that they get into in life. It's like, oh, actually, that relates. It's from a bygone era. 'Cause it's like you think about when Monica's like renting in her apartment, like, yeah, try to get in
Yes.
that apartment now. There, but like, it is one of those ones that hits, and I think with that, what you're
Yeah,
watching,
and
that is an interesting show.
Superstore is not on the same level as Friends. It won't be remembered for years to come like The Office. It's just like one of those shows, like, I think there's only 6 seasons, and they're, like,
Yeah,
Superstore, so it's like, it's fine. I like it. It's fine for what it is. I think it's fine, but, yeah, it's not gonna be like Friends where you can watch it over and over again, like, "Wow, I got something new."
yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
My spread the rec. My spread the records. That's not gonna. Why
Yeah.
my mind is like in two different places, man. My spread the arts. I only really did two things, and one I don't really want to recommend because it's like that's not what spread the arts is. I watched Adolescence, the TV show, and
Mm,
Jesus Christ,
yeah.
got like a lot to say on that. And I think the only good thing I'm going to do, and it's going to be a bit cheap, but my one is going to be Lost Records Bloom Rage, just as
Mm,
a that is something I want to spread because it's about supporting independent developers. It's fantastic. We finished it finally. I'm still thinking about that game. It's interesting to see the discourse because we will be doing a review the reviews episode on Lost Records Journal in a later space. We're waiting for more reviews to come in for take
mm,
two, and I love that format that you introduced as it was. I'm looking forward to talking about because some of the criticisms I'm taking, and I'm interested to see how people see it as well. I've also been reading the negative and the positive reviews, but some of them, like some of the reviews that I've read, like the Guardian one, is like I'm like, yeah, you've nailed it. What I think of Lost Records, and I keep
mm,
thinking about this game, and I'm thinking about this game in the way that I want to create theories and discussions and conversations, and there's a bit of an excitement about it. I was talking to someone on DMs privately, and it was like, even on Twitter, I know you don't use it anymore. It felt 2015 vibes, where you saw the fan art, you saw people discussing it. Michelle's on there talking to people, which is really nice. Like it adds that human element and other things with it outside of obviously finishing the game. And I'm very much excited to like play more of it when we go for the playthrough. So my recommendation is going to be that because it's on discount at the minute. Don't Nod has a publisher sale on at the moment as well, so do go and check it out. And this is 100% an approval for me to go and buy it because I think you'll enjoy it. Whether you get how you feel about the ending, that's a different thing. We'll have a discussion about that in a later time. But I think generally speaking, it's a it's a soulful game. It reminds me of why I still like gaming because otherwise I'd be out the door. That's the only two games I care about this year: Lost Records, Boom and Rage, and Death Stranding 2. After that, I don't really care about anything else. It's like whatever. GTA
yeah.
6, we played it. It's going to be the exact same thing. It's going to have some up end graphics. I don't really care. It's like this is why the industry's lost its soul. We need more Lost Records. And
Mm,
it's people like us that support Lost Records to really keep it going. And it can also include you as well. I got a review code from Don't Nod, which I loved. And thank you for that. I also bought it because I want to support the independent developers because it's important for me to do that. No different from what you do with Bandcamp when you bought Milk and Bones music. So
yes.
it's going to be a cop out, but I feel like I want to give Lost Records this space because StrangeCast also does include Lost Records content, but it's that. So anyway, we'll wrap up here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave us your thoughts in the comments. Let us know if you got any input, whether it's on Tessa Rose Jackson, whether it's on Don't Nod's earnings, whether it's anything we discussed. Please let us know as well, and we will pick out the best comment and we'll put it in the next podcast. So thank you as always, for joining us. It's really appreciated. If you are new here, please do like the video, share with your friends, subscribe. If you do not like this video, I'm
Mm,
going to give you Tessa Rose Jackson's award. I'm going to snatch out your hands. I'm going to be running down the street and you'll be chasing after me. That's what's going to
yes.
happen. Your award is going to go. So, yes, like the video and share and subscribe. Help us get to 1,800 subscribers. It's always greatly appreciated for a very small channel. We are independent like Lost Records. So, yeah, please do that. And then obviously as well, StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we're available on everything. So go and check us out there. Go and follow us and give us a rating as well. You get to keep up to date with all your content. You also push us out to other people. And we're always greatly appreciated for the people who stick with us as well. It's never lost. So, yeah, thank you for this episode. We'll be on episode 99 next, which is, I think it's quite surreal getting to the 100 milestone, but we will be back at some point. We're back on podcast scheduling, but just bear with us because podcasts are going to come in very different ways. I think Lost Records Journal will probably take more precedent in certain ways, but we'll keep you up to date with Lost Records content. And again, one more time, we're going to have a lot of podcasts rolling out in the next couple of days, so just bear with them in whichever order they come in. But again, this is on the 19th of April as it is. Anyway, take care, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Later.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.